Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Jaron boots Ennis. This weekend is the $100 million audition. That's right. His performance could land him a $100 million deal. Now, we know he signed a Matchroom, but we know Eddie Hearn has a close relationship with Turki Alalshikh. And let's face it, people, Turki Alalshikh wants to secure the next star in boxing. And Jaron boots Ennis, depending on how he looks, could find himself in front of Turki Alalshikh again, looking to sign a deal for 3 fights, of course, working along with Eddie Hearn for him to make plenty money. Now, that being said, who's he fighting? He's fighting Jaron. His second time fighting him, and the uniqueness of that, this is Boots in his second time fighting in his hometown this year. So he's making his second title defense of the IBF strap. It's really not the fight I wanted to see, not the fight many fans wanted to see. Would have liked to see him against Brian Norman Jr., but for some reason that fell apart. His team, Jaron boots Ennis and Eddie Hearn, blaming Brian Norman Jr. and Sr., Brian Norman Jr. and Sr., blaming Eddie Hearn and Jaron boots Ennis. But the bottom line is this may not be the unification fight we want, but it's an opportunity for Jaron to get back in the ring, stay active, and try to keep his world title belt. Now, Ennis and Chikazian met in 2023, where Jaron boots Ennis won by unanimous decision. That fight in particular, that caused a lot of people to kind of cast some doubt onto whether Jaron boots Ennis is really the next big thing in the sport of boxing and the guy who can carry boxing into the next decade. Since then, he's got himself together, Showtime, PBC, Matchroom, deciding what direction he wants to go, hooked up with Eddie Hearn. And Eddie Hearn so far hasn't delivered the big fights. He gave him a Vanessian comeback fight, we get it. Now Chikazian, let me explain this to you guys. Although they meet this Saturday at November 9th, right? Understand after Saturday, don't expect Jaron boots Ennis to go in there and fight Crawford. Boots has already said that Crawford's ship has sailed, and Crawford already said he don't want to fight him. All right, so get that off your brain. But don't expect him to go into some hard fight. I keep hearing people saying Boots should go fight Virgil Ortiz at 154. He should fight Bohachuk at 154. He should fight Badramov and call out Crawford. Understand, this is the $100 million edition. Eddie Hearn is not going to allow another one of his potential superstars to take a loss. Look at what happened. Subaru Matias was supposed to be that guy. He got clipped by Paro. Regis Prograis was that guy, but then proved out to be that, the best days, his best days were behind him. Anthony Joshua, at a certain point in time, was that guy in the heavyweight division. But you can see that maybe his best days are behind him. So Eddie Hearn is floundering. So he has 2 fighters with a lot of upside, and that's Jaron boots Ennis and Bam Rodriguez. Both of them fight this weekend. He is not going to sit there and throw Boots in to some super high-risk fight unless he can get him some good wins underneath his belt and make some money off him and possibly land him the $100 million deal with Turki Alalshikh for like 3 fights. Now, when it comes to Bam Rodriguez, he's already out here putting in the work. But I just think Eddie Hearn realizing with Bam, there's a lot more flexibility there with Bam Rodriguez in those lower weight classes. With Jaron boots Ennis, he hasn't really done much yet. So he's gonna let him get a few more wins. But I'm telling you guys right now, man, when Boots came out there and fought Chikazian, in that first fight, Boots looked lost in there. He was chasing him down, wasn't cutting the ring off. He was getting hit with some clean shots. And don't get me wrong, Chikazian ran. He was a boxer runner that night. He ran. He hauled ass. Forrest Gumped all around the ring. But Jaron boots Ennis, that was a fight where he was embarrassed because he was so caught up in the crowd. Now, his first fight back home, I heard him refer to it, man, it seemed like a block party. Seemed like we were just hanging out on the corner. Everybody knew each other. When I hear that, you know what I said? I said, that sounds to me like a recipe for disaster. He can say it was cool, it was fun. I think it was a recipe for disaster. And going into the fight this weekend, I hope he don't get caught up into the hype like he did when he fought Shikazi the first time. The big Rolls Royce truck, all the goddamn jewelry hanging off of his neck, all the clothes, got the goddamn hairline and all that bullshit going on. It's more like a red carpet, walking the runway thing, trying to entertain people instead of getting in the ring and get a goddamn solid win. And hopefully this weekend he doesn't get caught up in the hype at home. I call it the home hype. He gets caught up in the home hype, he may find himself losing. Even if he wins, that could be a loss. Just like a loss could end up being a win. Damn, boy, got to get the bad air out. But just like a win can be a loss if you put on a poor performance. If you get in there and you lose, but you put on a great performance, that could be a win. So again, I think Jaron Boots Ennis, he's got to get it right. Eddie Hearn's not going to allow him to misstep. Eddie Hearn needs a win, and plus Eddie Hearn doesn't want to deal with no clapback Thursday shit from Oscar De La Hoya. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Turki Alalshikh got $100 million burned in his hand. Javante doesn't want it. Canelo doesn't want it. Crawford wants it, but nobody wants to fight Crawford, and Crawford's picky about who he wants to fight. So you got Jaron Boots Ennis, who's out here ready. And if he comes in there and knocks Shikazi out, I mean in a devastating fashion, I am telling you, Eddie Hearn's going to be head over heels, and a $100 million contract with Turki Alalshikh for 3 fights could land in Jaron Boots in the slap. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, 7 continents, in the breeze.